What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, Wealth Hacker Labs. I am your gracious host, Jeff Rose. It is Friday, TGIF. I wanted to end the week not just with an update on the economic stimulus checks, but also what is going on with the federal unemployment benefit. This is the benefit that actually is going to affect so many more people, and these benefits are set to expire under the CARES Act, which was the first stimulus package. These are set to expire July 31st. But before we get to that, let's actually jump over to the computer. And I'm actually going to share a article that I just published on Forbes. Was it today or just the other day? But basically, this is just talking. This is all my opinion, my thoughts on this. But I'll let you read the headline so you can kind of see where I'm at with my thoughts on. Is there going to be another stimulus check? And let me just go ahead and just highlight there, but basically just saying a second stimulus check, Congress has no choice but to pass another bill. So why is this? One, things really haven't improved that much. We are seeing a resurgence in COVID-19 cases. We're seeing states that were once reopened that were on to phase, I'm not sure how every state works, but I know here in Tennessee, we were on phase 3 and we just went back to phase 2 with restaurants and bars. We're back to phase 1. So like many states that were reopening, Florida being one of those, that they just basically went back to being shut down. And that's just kind of where we're at. And really in this article, like what I'm addressing is looking at what has been going on with COVID-19, which obviously has a direct correlation to what's going on with the economy, what's going on with jobs. And if we look back, the early peak in April, we had about 40,000 or so a day that we were looking at. Then new infections dropped to 20,000 in May and early June, and then now, I should make this a little bit bigger so you can see the chart here, but you can easily see the numbers, how it is spiking up. We're seeing the numbers here, and right there, whoosh, 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 there it is. Like that's just seeing the big increase on what's going on. And as long as this continues to escalate, as long as these continue to soar and hit these record numbers, it just shuts everything down. Right now, for those that were getting more comfortable going out to eat, those that were getting more comfortable going to bars, I've just talked to so many people now. I know for me personally, like in the beginning stages of this, I didn't know a lot of people that were getting sick, getting COVID-19. And it seems like here in the last few weeks especially, it's just like the numbers have been increasing, but also like I know more people personally that are getting infected. And we could talk about unemployment. So looking at the unemployment numbers here, yes, we've seen a steady decline in the new people that are, applying for unemployment. But keep in mind that like there's only so many people that have, not many more can actually apply for unemployment because everybody already has. But if you look as of July 9th, we have 1.31 million new claims for unemployment as of July 9th. And I know the unemployment rate has fallen back to the peak of 14.7% in April. It remains high at 12.4%. So we're still seeing insanely high numbers. So how is this affecting Americans? How is it affecting their income? How they're just making it day to day. And this was a survey that was done by Ascent and that just released some very alarming figures. But just check out some of these numbers here. Once again, I'll make this a little bit bigger so you can see. But key findings here. So most Americans experienced their income loss in March right when the pandemic hit home. Yes, we get that. 42.8% of Americans who lost income lost between 10 to 49% of their earnings. Almost half of people that lost some income, it was between 10 to half of their earnings. Workers earning less than $15,000 a year were most likely to lose all of their income compared to moderate and high earners. And then lastly there, 64.9% of Americans had to cut expenses due to income loss, while 26.2% took out some type of loan. And the only way that these people are making it work is through taking out loans. How much are Americans borrowing? 46% have borrowed from family or friends, 46% have taken out a personal loan, 32% have taken out a 401k loan, 12% have borrowed against their house, their mortgage, I mean, you can just go on, and this is how people are making ends meet. And so if the government doesn't do something, and I'm not saying that sending out the $1,200 stimulus check is going to save everyone, but looking at these unemployment benefits, extending this some way, somehow, seems like the only logical step that they can make. But what I think you're going to see happen is if they do extend the unemployment benefit, so this is the $600 per week, $2,400 a month. Check out this article. And once again, I'll have a link to all these in the description, the show notes, so you can read at your own leisure. But this was an article that I just read on Forbes talking about the next $600 federal unemployment benefit will likely be smaller. Well, why is that? Like, where is that coming from? So if you check this out, so according to the research paper by the National Bureau of Economic Research, 2/3 of laid off workers are eligible for benefits that exceed their wages. I want to say that one more time. 2/3 of laid off workers are eligible for benefits that exceed their wages. So going back to, and I've shared this in previous videos, one of the biggest concerns that the government has is if they're going to extend these benefits, these unemployment benefits, there still has to be some incentive for people to go back to work. Well, if you're one of these, and I think it says about 20% of workers, it says 20% of workers actually their benefits, their unemployment benefits are twice as much as their salary. Well, that just doesn't make sense. Like, if you were making this and now you're making twice as much as that, then of course you're going, you want unemployment, you want that to continue. So they have to look at this and try to figure out, okay, what if we're going to do some sort of unemployment benefit that's going to continue, then how are we going to look at the wages, how much they get based off of their salaries? I mean, there has to be more to figure out. And obviously I feel like the initial HEROES Act, I mean, this was something like, man, we just got to get this out the door. We got to get everything signed. We got to start helping the people. And now that we've had some time to digest and see how things are panning out, even though we're going back into another shutdown, at least we have a better understanding of how the economy is doing, how companies are coping, and the next steps that people have to take to, just to deal with this pandemic, especially if it's going to be with us for an extended period of time. As far as any updates on the actual stimulus check, the only news that I have to share, this was actually provided by Steve Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary. I have no idea what my screen looks like that. But he had an interview that I think he did with CNBC, or is this Fox? No, with CNBC. And he went on to say he wouldn't provide any specific details of the actual stimulus check, the amount, the timeline, et cetera, et cetera. But this is what he did say. We do support another round of economic impact payments. We're discussing their criteria with the Senate and had a productive talk with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. He also went on to say, we will work on a bipartisan basis. Actually, I don't want to read that because it's just all political mumbo jumbo, blah, 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 blah. Either way, once again, you're just having somebody else coming up to the forefront and saying that, yes, we are talking about another stimulus package. It's obviously it's going to happen. I mean, Trump has already said that, but you're just hearing more chatter about it. And yes, it's getting serious. Obviously, something's going to happen. But I'm really curious to see how this is going to pan out, especially with the unemployment, because I think this is the more people I talk to, like, this is the benefit that is helping people stay afloat. And I'm curious to hear from you, which one, if you had to choose either one, would you rather have the one-time $1,200 stimulus check, or would you want an increased or an extended unemployment insurance benefit? Would you want that if it was less than the $600 a week that you might be getting now? Which one would you feel would be more helpful in your situation? And I know that many of you, many people in the comments have shared that they've applied for unemployment and they've gone through all this rigmarole trying to get their benefit, and a benefit that they should qualify for based off of the standards and the criteria to get this benefit, and they still haven't got it. Like, how frustrating. Like, we thought waiting on that one $1,200 check was frustrating. Imagine waiting on $600 a week, $2,400 a month, and it's been months now and you've yet to receive a check. Like, I can't even imagine what you are doing right now to make ends meet. My heart and prayers go out to you all that are struggling. But let me know in the comments below, which one would you prefer, the one-time check or extending the unemployment benefit insurance? Curious to hear your comments. As always, hope you're having just a great week, making the best of what you can. Be grateful. Hug your loved ones. If you got sun, it's sunny where I'm at right now. I'm grateful for all of that. And yeah, really appreciate you. All right, y'all. This is Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your money, it's your life, and only you can make it awesome. Until next time, peace.